Is getting to zero inflation really even a good thing? Y'all who don't know, Elon Musk, who's pretty much a secondary president at this point, has been cutting crazy expenses ever since getting into office, either it be government contracts or whatever the case may be. He's cutting to eventually get to zero inflation by 2026. Now, automatically, when people think inflation, they think bad. So when they hear zero inflation, they think, oh, perfect, keep cutting. But I'm going to show y'all exactly why that may not be the best in our interest. So to break it down in simple terms, if you were to have zero inflation tomorrow, that would be a sign of stagnant demand, which is meaning that prices aren't rising and consumer demand is low. Nobody's out there spending bread. And if nobody's out there spending bread, businesses can't expand. And if businesses can't expand, jobs aren't being created. And if jobs aren't being created, then no one is really going to spend bread. If no one's spending bread at that point, that risks deflation, which now means that businesses have to cut expenses, meaning jobs. Also, if you think about having zero inflation, you will have to think about how it's going to impact other pieces of the government like the Federal Reserve. Now remember, the Federal Reserve is responsible for two things. It's job growth and inflation. So if they're seeing there's zero inflation, meaning there's no demand in the market, they're going to entice us by lowering interest rates to promote more money coming into the market for us to come out and spend. If we were to have zero inflation, that means they would have to lower interest rates to the point of COVID levels, 2%, 3%, the whole 9 yards. And what happened when the Feds did that? We got 6 to 9% inflation throughout 2020 to 2022. That's why, in my humble opinion, I think it's best to do what the Feds are doing now, and that's trying to keep inflation at 2%. And we're a little over that, which we're at 2.9 right now. But that's why the Feds are doing what they're doing with the rates, keeping them the same for most of the year so that way inflation trickles down. The reason we're feeling the heavy effects of inflation right now is because of 2020. It was preposterous. People were spending bread like nothing, and companies were increasing their wages the way they should have. I could see an argument of saying that we should get to zero inflation to combat the fact that companies are increasing wages for the normal people, but honestly, I don't want to risk that because inflation is not a good thing. But what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments. It's D Wall. I'm out of here.